So, I saw Project SNT's video about her very first Sonic OC, and I was like, I had a million of those. I could talk about those and, like, still have things to say after 24 hours. So, my first OC that was fully realized was, get this, a spider cat. It was a cat that could summon spider legs and crawl on the ceiling. And that was it. And I called her kinda the spider cat. I had a terrible habit of, if I can't think of a name immediately, I will make up a name. So that's what I did. I drew her, and then I slapped kinda on the front, and didn't even think about any possible other words that could sound like it. And she had two sisters, like a couple days later. One of them was named Anne. She was a brown cat that had really long hair that could pull off a strand, and then use it as a whip. And then the little sister, Puffy, who's a white and pink cat who had mittens on all the time, but she had claws that were missiles. And she didn't even take them off. It was just missiles that broke through her mittens and shot at her enemies. God, I hate myself. And it didn't even stop there. I was like, well, I'm not very good at making guy characters, so let's just make out with Shadow. And so they would go on dates and have picnics, and that's the extent of it, because I was 11 years old and I didn't know how relationships work. And then I was like, I really like undercover spy shit. Like, not really to the extent of liking stuff like Spy Kids and stuff. I watched Spy Kids, but I was just like, I want an assassin group. So I made a group of characters. One of them legit was just red tails with a blue turtleneck, and another one was a brown hedgehog with long red hair. Yeah, that's not absolutely hideous. And a really edgy, like, two rabbits. They had two rabbits. One of them had red hair too. And, like, she was the stoic one of the group. And then the other one was, like, imagine Joker, but a rabbit, and not fun. That was basically her. I think I named her Zane, and I didn't know that Zane was a real name. I just thought I made it up. And she had, like, mixed matched eyes, and I made her fight with electrical wires, and I was an edgy ass middle schooler, let me tell you. Like, when I was 11, I really got into the color black, and I really liked the color red. And I hated pink. So, and so a lot of my characters were either a lot like canon clones, or, things that you would typically see a kid who listened to 3 Days Grace on a daily basis make. So, those are the ones that I mainly remember. But, then I played the legendary Starfy, and I saw this character named Shuriket, and I legit just took this character, turned it into a Sonic character, and then said it was mine. Later on, I changed it so that way she was still a ninja, but she was red and had her own personality. And I also made her have a huge crush on Red Tails McGee. But, I was, like, flipping back and forth between trying my best to be original and, completely ripping off canon characters. Like, a lot of my rabbit characters look exactly like Cream, except they have hair, or they're a different color. The edgiest one I ever made, that actually was incidentally mainly white and blue themed, actually. And her name was Sapphire the Rabbit. She was a ghost that was murdered in a house, and now she haunts it and has the house set up with a bunch of booby traps. Like, the couches are laced with needles, so if you sit down, your butt gets pierced. Or if you pull a wire and you walk under a ceiling fan, it's going to crash on your head, that kind of thing. Like, this girl was, like, so murderous, like not really bloodthirsty, just bitter, because that's how ghosts are, I guess. But I had so many characters that either had lifelong regrets or wanted to fucking kill people. And like, as I couldn't get used to making dude characters. That's why you're only hearing of one, and it was Red Tails. I eventually made my own Sona, but instead of naming it after me, I just made it look like me and then named it after a dog I had when I was 6. And after that, I was like, hey, pets are a really good basis for any character that you want to make. So I started making my dog Molly as a dog, my dog Daisy as a Sonic character, and it was crazy because after that I just made one after another design, and it was all a giant mess. But it all went downhill the second that I made a comic that I don't know where it is anymore. Most of my middle school art is just gone. It's all disappeared except for one sketchbook, which was from 8th grade. But I made a comic, and it was so stupid. Okay, so it was a character that fell in love with Sonic after being saved from Eggman. And you'll never guess what it actually was. It was a fucking Pichu. It was just a Pichu. Those things are like not even a foot tall. And it was like, oh, Sonic, it's so cool. He's so cool. Oh my goodness. And like, I even made a timeline for this thing to go down where it's like, at 5 years old, it looked like this. And then at this age, it looked like this. And then when it became an adult, it just grew wings. It was still a Pichu. It never evolved and it grew wings. I feel horrible never archiving any of my middle school stuff, save for whatever I did digitally. But I didn't start uploading things digitally until I was like 12 and well out of Sonic. It's sad. Really, because you probably don't believe a thing I've said. I am deeply saddened that I don't actually have proof beyond one picture. Oh man. Like, I had decent concepts. I had a vague idea of what I wanted to do. But I was also 11. So yeah, that's my cringy OC story. Slam that like button if you want to see me inconsistently upload, because I'm not getting paid for this. Dude, I completely forgot. I made another character and his name was Dr. Yogurt. It was just a pastel Eggman with a purple mustache.